Suzanne Vega is one of the music world's most distinctive singers, and her music has inspired her fans to create a giant website where she hosts online chats. Tonight, we go backstage to meet her.
I live on the second floor.
Suzanne Vega turned heads and minds in the 80s with her delicate appearance, folk-like melodies, and songs such as Luca.
If you hear something late at night.
Today, her fans are still drawn to the sensitivity and intensity of her lyrics and to her powerful yet polished performance style. Now, in the 90s, this singer, songwriter, poet, and composer has joined the growing ranks of entertainment celebrities who have an online presence.
Hi there, this is Suzanne Vega, and welcome to the Suzanne Vega website. I hope you enjoy it here.
But unlike many techno neophytes of her generation, the New York native was introduced to computers at an early age.
My very, very first computer experience was probably years ago, because my mother is a computer systems analyst and designer, so she's always worked with computers. I remember 20 years ago she had a big computer set up in the kitchen that she had hooked up to the library at Hunter College where she was working. So she put the receiver into the computer somehow, and she was trying to get us all to get involved with this, you know, and at that time it just seemed really daunting, and that was the first time I think I'd seen a computer.
Vega says that once she mastered the ability to send and receive email, she discovered the benefits of being able to communicate around the world just by going online.
I think part of the reason that I like it so much is because it's so much depends on the written word, at least in terms of email. And it's it brings back a sort of old-fashioned feeling of writing letters again, and you can get to know someone through their letters in a way that you might not if you met them face to face, because I think we tend to judge each other on images, and whereas there was something fascinating about getting to know people through their language. So.
Vega is now communicating with fans through a website known as Vega.net. The nonprofit website was established by a group of her fans and includes an extensive archive of her music, photos, and interviews, going beyond the traditional fan magazine format.
Well, the difference, I guess, is that because a website is electronic, it's sort of maintained. It's more like a library. You can go in and rifle through it and find old articles and then new interviews and pictures, and the thing I like about it is that I can contribute to it myself, and I can also respond to things in a sense. You know, if I didn't like a review, or if I felt that I was misquoted, I can go publish my opinion on my own website and say, I'm sorry, that's not what I said, or that's not the way I see it, and then I have my own forum besides just having usually writing the songs, or writing a letter to the magazine. So it's a lot more. It goes both ways. It's a lot more communicative, and I really like that.
The Vega.net website includes an archive of Vega's introduction to online chat. She started the session by saying she was so excited that she would likely be misspelling words.
It went by really quickly. I suppose the actual conversation probably took about 20 minutes, but between scrolling through everything and trying to figure out which sentences I wanted to respond to, it ended up taking longer, but it was fun, and it was funny. But if you had actually seen what I saw, which was all of the questions that I was getting from everyone, and it was kind of like being at a wild party where everyone's talking at once. Sentences are being cut up in little bits. There's one person who's like really insistent on one question, but all you see is like 3 words going, please, 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 and you've lost the rest of the question, somewhere like up before that.
Vega.net also features audio clips of Vega answering her online fans' questions.
That's a really good question. In fact, I had the same question when I read that interview, because that's not what I said at all. What I said was that the vocal was distorted, and it was probably different from the sort of things that I used to do. I would never create distance. I would never use distortion to create distance from the kind of thing I used to do.
Vega says she believes digital communication has enabled her to experience more personal contact with her fans.
The most fascinating thing for me has been getting to meet some of the people on the road who've been participating at the website, and so I know them through their names and through their letters, and then they'll come to the show and they'll say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and their names will pop up in my mind in front of me, because I recognize the handle that they use, and then I get to see the faces and put the faces together with the names that I'm familiar with. So that's been really great, because it's worldwide. So now it's like anywhere I go in the world, I can meet someone, and I feel as though I've met them already because I've known them through the website.
Backstage at San Francisco's Warfield Theater, Vega meets one of those fans. His name is John Andrea, and his company, MeerNet, provides the internet server for the Vega.net website. Together with webmaster Eric Zierbinski and other volunteers, he helped start the popular website. He says he believes the reason for the site's success is the fact that it is maintained and supported through volunteer efforts.
It's very deep. It's one site that's been there for a really long time. People contribute everything pretty much that they have archived on Suzanne to that site. And so it became very deep. And just before the launch of her most recent album, they decided, basically her record company decided to endorse the site and to give copyrighted clips and material to the site. And that's also unusual, because normally the record company would make their own website with the material elsewhere.
The online directory for Vega.net appears to cover a lot of Vega's professional and personal background. But she says her private life remains exactly that, private.
I don't share everything about my life with everybody out there. I mean, I feel that I'm sharing what I want to. Obviously, if someone were to ask me, as they do, well, what have you been up to for the last 4 years? Because that's how long it took to make this album. That's how long it was between the two albums. I'll say, well, I've gotten married and I have a child. And to me, I'm revealing what I want to reveal. I'm not revealing those parts of my life that I consider private.
Yet Vega still says she draws inspiration from experience and everyday life. She says, for example, her music video, No Cheap Thrill, is loosely based on her romantic relationship with husband Mitchell Froome, a music producer who plays keyboards in her band.
The inspiration for that was the very beginning of when my husband and I were first starting to get to know each other. It was after we'd finished the album, but before we'd actually come together romantically as a couple. And I knew that if we became involved with each other romantically, that it would be very risky, especially for him. And so I was sort of comparing it to a poker game, because I play poker, and I played poker ever since I was a teenager. So that was the initial idea for the song. And some of the words I actually got out of a book of rules of poker games. I needed to fill it out a little bit more than just what I knew, so I went and I got the book, and like Lame Brain Pete and Spit in the Ocean are both different kinds of poker. So I just kind of put it together like a puzzle.
And while Suzanne Vega continues to communicate with us through her musical artistry, she has a few words of cyber wisdom for people who are apprehensive about tuning in to the online world.
I mean, I'm not a technical person, and I found it really pretty easy to get around in there. And get a good browser, that helps. If you don't I don't have a good browser right now, so I find it hard to even reach my own site, actually, because last time I tried it all came down and sort of rearranged and not, so I have to get myself a better one. But yeah, it's not really as harsh a world as it might appear on first glance.
Like a marble or an eye, with my knees against my mouth, I am perfectly round.
This is Suzanne Vega, and I'd like to say thanks for stopping by my website.
Watching you.